Hello, everyone, and this is the aftermath. Act 3 has been conquered. So if anyone is interested in just a general build that can help them push this through on top of the overall gameplay and encounter and what you should look out for, then stick around. So looking at quickly at the support gems here, primarily I'm using Mace Strike for single target damage. And this is the increased stun chance, the 6% life leech, and then the rage on hit. So I don't have Hammer of the Gods, so this has been, again, a primary, single target damage that I've been growing into, and it has been effective. The build centers around simply building the stagger bar as fast as possible. Once the stagger bar is primed for stun, you use Bone Shatter, and then you will then use Seismic Cry in order to buff or empower your next slam. And in this case, I use Sunder. So that's basically overall the rotation and the kit. I don't use Shockwave Totem. I try to plant it here and then, but it's not something I'm liking. I don't use Rolling Slam anymore. Bone Shatter is the crux or the pillar of the build. And here I have create an Aftershock when they heavy stun, and then fully breaking armor when inflicting a heavy stun, and then support skills have 40% more area of effect, and that's more for trash mobs and single target. Seismic Cry, again, buffing my slams. This I do bleed, 15% more damage. These are my buffs, 30% increased accuracy rating, and overwhelming presence is generate 1% of life. Supercharged Slam. Now, this is kind of something I'm playing around with, but I don't think I'm vibing with it just based on how squishy I am right now. I don't really have the fucking privilege of just staying in one spot and charging. So I will definitely be swapping this out for Hammer of the Gods. But here you go. I have the Endurance Charge, which is kind of useless. And then I have the 40% more damage on low life, so kind of like an Execute. It's literally called Execute. Leap Slam for mobility. Critical hit on full life because I tend to jump into mobs on the first thing I do. And then 50% more stun buildup. Again, we want to build stun as fast as possible. 50% chance to slow people down. That's basically more good for trash than it is bosses. 35% more physical melee damage, and then 20% chance for aftershocks. If we look at the items, again, this can be completed pretty much with any build. There's nothing special here other than the boots that I just got, but honestly, they're underwhelming. But as you can see here, this is my weapon, the helmet, amulet, rings, belt, and then these are my unique boots. And I know there's not a rune in there. I was going to get... Fuck. I swear to God I was going to put a rune in there. I swear to God. And then this is a charm. The overall stat page, 67% armor resistance, 12 fire, 23 lightning, 12 cold, nothing chaos, over 1,000 health, and that's basically it. Again, in terms of like an overall rotation, I'm bashing them until I get a prime for stun, in which then I'll use Bone Shatter. I'll buff up then with, Seismic Cry. Where is Seismic Cry? And then what I'm going to do is after Seismic Cry, hit him with the big Sunder. Hopefully it procs. It will proc an Aftershock based on Seismic Cry. I hate that you can't read the skill and what it does on the skill bar. I don't know if anybody feels the same way. Anyway, and then, the Sunder is what does the big dick damage when he is heavy stunned. So that's kind of the core rotation. Those are the items. For anyone interested in the passive tree, this is what I'm doing. Some melee damage, some armor, right, against heavy stunned, increased damage, more armor, more two-handed damage here, crit. And then this is increased armor when I'm attacking, increased stun buildup, heavy, increased damage on, again, heavy stuns and maces, some extra armor that's converted from the strength requirement, and I'm heading towards breaking 50% armor, again, on heavy stunning. The whole build is building stagger and then heavy stunning early with primed stun using Bone Shatter. That's the premise of the build. I am going to be approaching these nodes because I really do need resistances, and I'm just going to kind of eat these up, and we'll see where we go from there. I may pivot all the way down here and then go for this tree, which is purely two-handed weapon damage. So I will probably hit these two nodes, and we'll see how it works. But it's going. So there it is. That's weapons, gems, ports, items. And let's just get into the fight, shall we? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the encounter portion of the guide. Now, this boss primarily does fire and lightning damage with a heavy emphasis on lightning. So if you are going to build any sort of resistances, those are the two you should aim for. In this particular video, I had about 23% resistance to lightning. The mechanics of the boss or the overall game loop is going to have you doing a bunch of attacks and then constantly rolling to the guy's side or his back. And this is especially evident when he jumps in his big ass machine. But anyway, I'll start and stop during the video. Hopefully that's been helpful with my previous guides. And here we go. So overall, what you want to do with this build is you want to use Mace Strike, build up the Prime to stun, Bone Shatter to stun him, then use Seismic Cry, and then a big Sunder. That is pretty much the game loop, right? So over the bat, he has a fire move, so he constantly kind of, I hit a couple, I dodge. I hit a couple, I dodge. That is a very easy move to dodge on his flank. This is, again, these like little laser fireballs. It's just a couple hits, don't get greedy, and dodge. Now, he will have these massive lightning and fire AoE too. It's important to keep your distance or leap out. As you can see here, I stunned him, Sunder, and bam, look at that damage, right? Unfortunately, the Sunder did not proc an after shock. Now, same thing here. He's going to pop this thing in the middle of the machine. Now, this is annoying for warriors. It's just best to not be greedy and to step back. Now, these lights will pulse, and it gives you more than enough time to dodge. He also will blast a ton of lightning for a period of time. Again, buy your time, buy space until he's out of those fireballs, and then go in. A really good idea is also to purposely walk over the red... Oh, he almost got me there. These red things on the ground, especially as he transitions to the next phase. Now, he'll typically transition around 50%, but this guy was fucking greedy and went to like around 25. But as you can see, I'm just hitting Mace Strike, building stun, trying to dodge, you know, these attacks, healing through it, and trying to proc. There's a heavy stun. Here's Seismic Cry, right? Getting the mana back, and then a big sun. Oh yeah, there's the aftershock. That's what we like to see. So it is a lot of hitting, dodging, hitting, dodging. This always plays safe. It's important not to ignore these mechanics, right? Anyway, now he's still alive. I'm still impressed, right? You typically don't want to stay at range at him. You always want to stay close and then roll and flank. Now, anytime he transitions, purposely walk over these lasers that are on the ground. You know, these crystals. You always don't want to start this guy's engagement with those things on the ground. So as he is doing his role play, just spin around the arena and make sure that they're activated, starting on the side where you are behind him. Now, this is constantly, again, staying on his side. Staying on his side, dodging, hit, dodge. He'll always try to remove. That is no problem if you're staying behind him. This is not a problem mechanic if you're staying behind him. So as you can see here, it's just a kind of game of cat and mouse of just always flanking his behind. Now, see? Now I just rotated it. Got greedy there. It's okay. 1 hit, 2 hit, roll. 1 hit, 2 hit, roll. And I'm just doing Mace Strike. I'm not doing anything else. Right? Back away. Right? Always that back left leg or back right leg is the best to keep him. Right? And then it's simply bam. He is primed for stun. Now I'm going to do big dick damage. Right? Seismic Cry. Then Sunder. Oh my god. You gotta love that. Big damage. And there you go. Like, as long as you flank his right and you're not greedy with your attacks, and you don't really use Seismic Cry that often, Sunder, unless it's for, right, the big dick combo, then you're going to be fine, right? Now, this is a laser that periodically shoots. This just makes it so nothing's going to change from a gameplay perspective that you've already been doing by hit, roll, hit, roll. All that's going to change is you're going to have to be more mindful of when it actually pulses the ground. Okay, this is the biggest mechanic to look out for because, well, we've been greedy and humping him in the ass. So the way to do this is he'll spin in the direction that you are in, whether that is his left side, he'll go counterclockwise, or if you're in this scenario, right side, he'll go clockwise. It is much more difficult to try to beat the chase, but it is dependent on where you are when he summons his ass. Now, when he is going through and, you know, experiencing hemorrhoids and you are close to his ass, the best thing to do is to take the hit and then approach the distance and go opposite in the direction that he's going. In this case, right, we'll see what I do, right? I got hit, and then I ended up pivoting back. I'm not going to continue running because I'm unable to, you know, receive that much damage and live. So what you want to do is get hit, make sure that you have at least 20, 25% lightning resistance or more, preferably, and then you're going to spam your heal button as you then roll in the opposite direction. That will trivialize that mechanic. And he typically only does it once. Here's a big AoE. You run kind of back, right? Keep him in mind, mindful of the laser. Now, this is a little bit tricky. You don't want to spam your leap because you want to have it, right, for a very specific timing. So he's in the air. As you can see here, there's that like yellowish, brownish, whitish hue of the AoE, but he follows you. So at this case, you want to time it so when right before he's about to hit you, you want to leap out of that, right? So around here, as you can see, more than safe space. What really helps is to also drag him on one of the corners of the map. It doesn't matter where. That way you have the most amount of room to leap and then, you know, leap again or run as he will approach you slowly. So you want to give yourself that space. So here we go, repeating. Building up stagger, sticking on his hind leg, right? Just ignoring these mechanics completely, right? He'll try to wrap around. This is a bit dangerous because there's that fucking flame thing there. But as you can see here, I got the stun, seismic cry, you know, bam! And that is one way to finish. So hopefully that was helpful in some type of way. Again, just don't be greedy. Stay behind him. Use that combo where you're priming for stun, bone shatter, seismic cry, and then sunder for big dick damage. And you should be good. The biggest two mechanics are the lightning out of his ass. And as long as you are understanding what direction he's going, you can quickly pop a heal and then go in the opposite direction, right? Taking that damage. But again, make sure you have enough lightning resistance because if you're sitting, I think, anywhere between 15, 10% or lower, it will one-shot you. And ideally having a flask, right, that will, recover health instantly will certainly make that more easier. And then the other mechanic is really once he's in the air and he does the pound town, just making sure to put him into a corner and then leaping at the appropriate moment. Anyway, that's it, guys, for this one. I hope you're having fun. I am. I'll catch you on the next one.